Hey guys, how's it going? It's Etanius here. Welcome to episode number 1 of this NHL 22 Minnesota Wild franchise mode. Today we are going to be starting off this series, getting all the rosters and everything set up, and getting into the inaugural part of this franchise mode. So, before we actually jump into setting up the franchise mode, I just want to show you the rosters quickly and a couple other things here. So, when we go over to created players, these are all the guys that we're going to have in the game that would otherwise not be. So I think some of our targets are potentially going to be guys like Ivan Miroshnichenko. He looks really good. Same with Logan Cooley. I gave him a bit of a bump because he's top 5 on almost every scout's list. Obviously, we're going to get access to Matthew Boldy and Marat Kusnedinov, both fantastic players in their own right. And there's a couple other guys in here like Rutger McGroarty, who I just recently added. I didn't get as many young prospects created as I wanted to before I had to record this, but of course Matvei Michkov is going to be one of those big names as well that we look to potentially pick up as the Wild, as we really are going to try to build an absolute juggernaut in the NHL. But anyways, those are my created players that are all going to be in the game. When we go over to the rosters, I just want to make sure that we are running the correct active roster. As you can see here, we are using the newest November update, so it might be a little off based on certain aspects because, again, every time I do rating changes and stuff like that, the second a new roster change comes out, 7 days ago, this is a merged roster, so it should be good to go. And apart from that, I think we are pretty much ready to jump into this. Alright guys, so now that we are finally jumping into this franchise mode, let's get to it. I'm really excited. I think this Minnesota team can potentially turn into something really special. And let's get to this. So we're going to be doing a classic. We're not doing an expansion draft. We already lost players to that. So, expansion draft's already been done. We are going to be GM Etanios, simply because, don't get me wrong, the Wild are doing very well in real life, but we're going to structure this so that we can potentially turn into the best team in the NHL in the future. So, Xcel Energy Center is ready to go. Iowa Wild have got some great prospects. Our top players are Kaprizov, Jared Spurgeon, and Joel Eriksson Ek, and I think we are good there. Division realignment shouldn't change. The Kraken should be in the league, which they are. Beautiful. All right. This is all looking solid. Not going to lie, I think we might struggle the first year, but who knows? We might end up doing really, really well, too. There's no way to really tell exactly how we're going to do. Owner mode is going to be off. I don't want to play owner mode on this series. We are doing that with Quebec already, and it's already a pain in the butt. So we're going to leave salary cap, CPU trades, and player morale on. Everything else is shut off, and we are good to go here. So, just into some more rules and settings here. Let's get to this quickly. So, first off, we're going to be playing 5-minute periods. We're going to be on Superstar, 25 years save, fantasy draft off. Let's see, what else? Trade difficulty is going to stay on medium. I'm not going to make it hard, otherwise we're never going to be able to land any trades. Auto scouting, we are going to be doing that. Staff management, that's fine. And I think that's it for the regular settings. That looks good. We could do full sim. You know what? Yeah, let's do full sim, see how that feels. So, into advanced settings, we are going to be fully healed for injuries and everything like that. Sim engine scoring, I kind of want to turn sim engine scoring to high just to see how ridiculous it gets, because we're doing medium sim engine scoring and nobody's really scoring at a ridiculous rate with the Quebec franchise that we're doing, so we're going to do that. I want to bump prospect and draft quality up as well. Shot frequency should be fine, but I'm going to enjoy playing on high, seeing some ridiculous numbers. Retired jerseys are on. I'm going to turn morale meetings off because those things just annoy me, to be completely honest with you. And for sliders, I don't think we're going to touch anything. If injuries get to a ridiculous... Actually, no. We're going to bump injuries down to like 25% just because they get so ridiculous when we're full simming. So yeah, we're going to do that. I think you guys got to let me know in the comments. Do you want to see me do a similar kind of setup to the Nordiques franchise mode where we're going to be playing rival games? So if we're playing some teams that are in our division, such as like, let's say St. Louis and Colorado, those are our biggest rivals. Let's say we play against those teams. Like, do you want to see that? Do you want to see those highlighted games when we do calendar sims and stuff like that? Let me know in the comments below, but we do have to get to one comment that actually made the list here for, I said, drop comments if you want to get featured. And well, it was pretty obvious that, that Ben Carlson wanted to get featured here. He said, you're going to have a really strong young core to get through the cap hell of Sutter and Parise. Rossi, Boldy, and Beckham all seem like the real deal. Addison should be an everyday player as well. Moving Fiala up to the top line. Or moving Fiala for a top line center would be a potential move, but not a necessity. Interesting. Okay, so he's saying, well, first off, let's go look at the contracts here because we're listed as a seller, which I find interesting. So when we look at the team, no question Kaprizov. I'm going to say Kaprizov. That's how I've always said it. He's going to be just fine at $9 million. A whole bunch of these guys are on really good contracts. I would say Zuccarello is probably one of our worst deals at $6 million a year at 34 years old, but he could stick around still potentially. Apart from that, well, Victor Rask is not a good deal, but he's expiring, fortunately. Kalen Addison, I had higher rated, but then the game switched it back with the update. But don't get me wrong, Adam Beckham looks like a really good player, too. I think he's going to be a great addition to this lineup in the future. And where is the rest of our cap space? I feel like, well, Goligoski and Rask are both super expensive, too. Are they in the system, or I guess not. So that's the thing, is this cap hell of Parise and Suter, I'm not really seeing. I did bump Lambos up because, well, Lambos is going to be sick. Don't get me wrong there. And honestly, Marco Rossi probably should be higher rated too, but that's okay. We're going to have him playing on probably back in the OHL for one more season. Hopefully he develops. If he doesn't, we could potentially trade him for better centers in the future, but like there's lots of really high potential players in here too. Like Boldy's going to be sick. Kuznetsov is going to be awesome. And that's the thing, is like we got Kuznetsov, we got a couple, we only got one Russian player really, but I'd love to potentially get a couple more of those like really top end Russian players because I think that would go along well with Kaprizov. We got a 71 rated Jesper Wallstead there, also a medium elite goalie, so we're set, honestly. Like, we have a great young core, as Ben Carlson said, and honestly, our cap hell doesn't actually look nearly as bad or as hellish as we're probably thinking. So, taking a look at the draft class, because this is going to be another area that we build through. There are some decent-looking American players here, but the guy I might be most interested in is potentially Logan Cooley or even Ivan Miroshnichenko. Both those guys could be absolutely phenomenal additions to this team. I think they bumped Slavkovsky up, so he's going to be really good. Apart from that, not going to lie, I don't recognize a ton of these names. I know Solomonson is going to be decent, but nothing crazy spectacular. So overall, I think this first draft is going to be really good. I think if we can land picks a little bit further down in the lottery, such as, say, Brad Lambert or Logan Cooley or Miroshnichenko, I think those players would all be great. Even Matt Savoie would be a fantastic pickup, or like Connor Geeky's this far down too. Oh, there's so many players. So you guys got to let me know what you think we should be doing here for this first season, because we can go two ways about it. The first thing is we could, try to tank, try to land some top end picks, land a 6'3" Trey Weller or somebody like that, or get a good winger like Dwight Stewart, or I don't know. There's lots of options we could take. to potentially gain some more prospects and really build a nice young core, or we could just try to compete this year. I really want to know what you guys think, because that is going to essentially determine the trajectory of this team moving forward. So I think we're not going to make any crazy trades or stuff like that, at least up until the deadline. If we have to make deadline deals, so be it. But I think we start this off by just getting into like a half-season kind of simulation. So before we actually get into the season simulation, let's just figure out our coaching staff as well, because this is going to kind of determine how we play our system moving forward. So we got a forwards coach. That's interesting. He doesn't quite play what I want, but he's honestly not that bad either. So let's just see what else is available for... I like building forward coaches. You guys all know this if you've watched any of my series. I love building forward coach systems that actually have decent or consistent defense, because that just makes it so much easier building forward in the future. And, well, if we're going to play a pinch and shoot, we got to actually figure out what these guys play. That's the other thing. So, only other problem is that there's really just not a lot of forward coaches in general. So, as much as that's, annoying, there's not really a whole lot we can do for improving the system right now, unfortunately. I would love to really, build a nice balanced chemistry kind of team here, but, this guy, Jeff Simon, looks pretty decent, actually. But, again, I don't know if we're playing a pinch and cycle or how this team is going to look. I mean, don't get me wrong. Brennan Frank, only 56% system fit right now, so that's not spectacular. Let's go look at the lines, see if this changes anything or not. And yeah, it's not the most spectacular by any means. So Kaprizov is better on the second line. Interesting. Eriksson X very much a first line forward. Zuccarello's there. Okay. Got Rem Pitlick in the lineup. Doesn't look terrible, actually. So, Hugstad's better down there. Greenway. Okay, that could be interesting. Try Jordan Greenway up top with... Well, Kevin Fiala's a perfect fit. Eriksson Ek, maybe not so much. He actually does fit better there. So, yeah, got Marcus Foligno as well. He's actually pretty good where he's at. But, yeah, we can get a +3. I don't think Victor Rask is going to be super fantastic or anything like that. He'll be, probably a little below average playing there, but that's okay. Addison's a pinch and cycle. John Merrill's balance cycle. Pinch balance, pinch balance, pinch balance. Balance cycle. Okay, interesting. So that's what we're rocking with for now. I think maybe we try Addison on the first line, or first pairing. That could work. Alright guys, so going over to the team scouting now, and as you can see, I've just completely cleaned shop here. We've offered 12 contracts, or 13 contracts for replacing scouts, but at this moment, we're just going to advance a couple days, hopefully get all the scouts back. That'd be very nice. Obviously, we have the preseason to simulate through. And looks like we're going to get a bunch of them here. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have 5 on the first day there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we're just missing a couple more. 11, 12, and this should be our last one. 13, there we go. Okay, so we get all the scouts there. Get a Goligoski offer for a 3rd rounder. Honestly, not that bad a deal, but I think we're just going to hold the team together until we get a bit closer to the trade deadline. And, well, apart from that, I just want to get my scouts going here too. So, let's see. Obviously, I haven't actually started scouting anything yet. Chernak is going to be a Liga scout. Just got to relocate a couple scouts like this because otherwise they are not going to be ready to go. Okay, so when we go to hire scouts, it'll just show us how many scouts we got in each region. 2. We got 4 Nordic. Yeah, 4 Nordics, actually, correct. All right, we are set up just like that with the scouting, and we still have 1 scout available. So I don't know exactly what we're gonna do with that. We'll figure it out as we go. But for the most part, I mean, it is going to be heavily reliant on each kind of draft class and section, because again, if we go over to hire scouts, it's going to show us kind of which regions are going to be the largest. So it's actually, I got to go to relocate. Sorry, that's my bad. Come on. There we go. Okay. So, if we go to just change region, we're not actually moving Zao or anything like that, but you can see like the CHL, 200 forwards, okay. So the WHL would probably be the league that we hire an additional scout for. I think this year anyways, we can go and get a lower end kind of scout. And then go from there. Because again, it's not like, you know what, if we hire Walzer, that would not be a bad scout to have because they're very versatile between the WHL and the Q. And yeah, okay. So now that that's going, let's advance a couple more days, get Walzer in. And I think I'm ready to do scouting now, and we keep getting Goligoski traits. Interesting. Alrighty guys, so now that I have finished up my scouting, we are just going to go take one quick peek at free agents, because there is one player in there I want to look at, but as you can see, we got all the scouting done up to this point, up to December 29th, so January pretty much. Holy Kaprizov, his hair is absolutely crazy, I love it. But, no, looking over at free agents, that's what we're going for. Eric Stahl actually looks quite interesting. No team's interested, and he's going to be like $1 million. So let's sign him. He's a 36-year-old, 82 rated center. Pretty darn good forward, especially at that age, and, well, we could definitely use the center. So, advancing now, we've lost a significant amount of games in preseason. So have the Winnipeg Jets. They've lost them all in extra time, but we do get Eric Stahl there. That's sweet. So let's go and pull him up to the NHL, simply because he should be up. And I don't know, do we give... I want you guys to tell me, do we give Matthew Boldy the shot at making the team? Because that would be pretty cool if we do. But we also have more than enough skaters up here at the moment. I think, yeah, you know what? I think we do give Matthew Boldy a shot, at the very least. We'll do that. Do best AHL lines. I don't care about the AHL. Is that, like, at this point, I don't care about the Iowa Wild as far as developing players too much. Obviously, we've got Kuznetsov, but we got to get some more prospects into the system first to really develop it well. So, I mean, I shouldn't say I don't care at all. Like, we do have Marco Rossi. We do have certain guys that are going to be very good players. So, yeah, I mean, I am excited to see what these guys can do. Are we missing anybody? Man, Johansson did not turn out at all. That's too bad. Is anybody else actually good in here? Mason Shaw could be interesting. I've seen him develop way better than he probably should in a couple of franchise modes. So, because of that, let's see. Shaw's a second liner, so is Kovanov, however you want to say his name. I think we just play a full line of centers here. Just say screw it. Put Kuznetsov and Shaw and Kavanov all together. That actually looks pretty decent. You know, close quarters should be interesting on Kuznetsov as well. Apart from that, I think Marco Rossi's going to do just fine. I think he just actually needs the playtime. And when he is a carry cycle efficient balanced center, that's like exactly what we're looking for a first line center eventually. So I want to try to grow him. Who knows if we'll actually be able to do it well or efficiently, but I do want to give guys like Boldy and Beckham a shot as well. Boldy does not fit at all. Oh, he subs in very nicely with this, what's his name there? With Kaprizov, and I almost said Kaprizov. I'm going to say it wrong so many times, but with Kaprizov or Eriksson Ek, those guys are going to be really good together. I'm excited to see what they can do. And Beckham as well also fits surprisingly well. So maybe we go, as much as I want Adam Beckham playing, I don't know if we're going to be able to get him playing. That's the thing. Eric Stahl more so fits like in Rem Pitlick's spot, I would say. Let's do that. Oh god, that's terrible. Alright, so Beckham might not get the chance this year, but that's okay. We still have other players that are going to do just fine on the bottom line. Maybe not. Nico Sturm. Not quite there, so I guess we go with Pitlick. Yeah, okay. So, I mean, not going to lie. That's actually a pretty decent looking team. If we're playing an 82 rated Matthew Boldy there, that looks really good. I'm actually genuinely kind of surprised at how well that looks. So, defense, we're not going to try to improve too much right now. I don't want to play Matt Dumba that low in the lineup. So maybe we play Goligoski down. Oh yeah, that's way better. That is 100% better. Merrill would actually, he wouldn't boost it. That's cool. Okay. So we're going to leave it like that. Go Addison and Brodin for now. Talbot and Kakinen, not necessarily the best starting tandem, but Minnesota's done well in real life, and that's all we can say for now. But now that we are at this point, I think I kind of have the lineup determined here. So let's sim to the regular season, see how the draft class starts to shape up. I've got my eye more so on just a couple players, like, of course, you know, we've got Boldy as a playmaker down the right or left wing. I believe I've got him listed as a left winger. So, with that in mind, he's a left winger / center. So, he could even play down the middle if we need him to. But, yeah, that's the thing, is that him and Rossi are going to be nice additions to like opposite lines for one another, so that's going to be really good. Boldy might end up fitting very well with Kuznetsov in the future, simply just because of the system fit there. But yeah, carry cycle efficient balanced is what we're probably going to be playing on either line 1 or line 2 in the future. And of course, I would like to bring in some guys around that. So power forwards and snipers are going to be more so the player type that we bring in. And because of that, I'm looking at... Oh, Logan Cooley's a playmaker, but he's also listed as a gem. I also did improve Cooley and loaded him up with some X factors because he's supposed to be a top 5 player. So yeah, those two guys would be phenomenal players to bring in. Apart from that, Mirosnashenko I would love to bring in too, but he's a 2-year ETA. And then like even a guy like Connor Geeky further down could be a good addition too if we're able to get our hands on him. I don't know if we're actually going to be able to trade up that high or get any of those guys. I would love to get 1 or 2 of these guys at the very least, and probably number 7 and 8 there. Those are the 2 guys I'm looking at. And we know that, what do you call it? We know that certain created players, like Mirosnashenko and Cooley, are going to sim better. They're going to get more shots. They're going to get more chances. And why wouldn't you want a player that sims better? Like, we know they're probably going to sim well. So, anyways, now that the preseason is concluded, let's get to this. Let's get the team set up and rolling here. And we're going to very obviously get right through up until probably January. Trade deadline's not until March. I don't know if we're going to go up that far, but I assume that you guys are going to want to see some rivalry matchups, and well, that will be determined by, you know, who's winning or who's losing. I would assume a team like Colorado is going to be winning a lot, and maybe like, who else is in our division? Dallas might be good, but maybe not. Winnipeg probably going to be good. So yeah, there's certain teams in our division that we can target to play against more, if you guys are interested in seeing that, and I think it would make for an interesting series and interesting matchups and so on. But yeah, we got Nashville, St. Louis could be good, Chicago could be good. Again, it's all up in the air until we actually start to see records develop, but I think we are going to highlight a couple interdivisional matchups anyways. One more thing I think we're going to do just for now, guys, is we are going to send Adam Beckham down just for now, based on the fact that he probably will see more growth if he's playing. That's not what I wanted. Okay. He will most likely see more growth playing down in the minors, so we're going to get him into that lineup as well. Probably get him playing alongside like Marco Rossi or somebody like that, or maybe Kuznetsov, something along those lines, and see how he does, because again, I do think he would just fit better along here, so Beckham's going to fit best on line 1. And Gaudreau's 28. Kyle Rouse 28, also 28. Alright, so that's looking quite a bit better in the AHL. It's nothing super strong, but it's really not that terrible either when you look at it. So yeah, I think this team should be just fine. Get the Hamburglar in net back here, and Barabo as well. I'm going to butcher so many names. I apologize to all the Minnesota Wild fans that have been watching these teams forever. I am not a Minnesota Wild fan necessarily, but I do like what their team's doing. So that's why we're using them, and we're going to try to really make this team good. But I want to hear your guys' comments down below for what you think we should do with this team, obviously. Ben Carlson was saying maybe trade Fiala for a better center. And, well, if we do go look at the trade block, obviously we're not going to make a trade yet. Not yet. But if we do go and look at what's available, not on our trading block, but browsing the trading block, should be an interesting group or team or whatever you want to call it here, based on a couple other teams that aren't doing so well. Who's a team that might actually have a good first-line center? It could be... I don't know, actually. We don't have any really good targets. Like, maybe Jonathan Toews, but, like, I would prefer Kevin Fiala over Jonathan Toews. Martin Kaut might not be terrible, but That would be more of a future kind of player to go after. Sutter's on Dallas, so obviously we're not trading for him. Klingberg is an interesting one. But again, not quite what we're looking for. They've got Borgo. I don't know if Borgo is a playmaker necessarily. Could be more of a sniper, but Denisenko is not terrible. Philip Danault, maybe. I don't know. That could go well. Like, I'm just showing you guys what's available here. We could even go out and try to get Sorokin. Elias Sorokin could be really good. So, I mean, you guys let me know. We'll probably be pushing trades like this closer towards the trade deadline. If we actually look at guys like that. Cam York, also available. Not gonna lie. Looks like a really decent defender. Again, would really buff out our top 4 for the future. Brett Burns, Erik Karlsson, we're not touching, obviously. No point in that. Nail Yakupov got picked up by... Oh my goodness, he got picked up. He's playing for Seattle. Sweet. That's actually really cool. Brendan Saad, okay. Not great. Yeah, so there's just not a lot of really high-end kind of centers available here, which is too bad. But, you know, there are a couple guys here and there that we could potentially go after. Billy Heinola, another really decent defenseman that's just been bumped way down and is on the trade block. Okay, so that's the trade block. I don't think we're making any moves or anything like that, but we're just going to start simulating. I'm going to pick out, let's say Colorado, St. Louis, and Winnipeg's fairly close to Minnesota. So yeah, let's highlight a couple of these games. We're just going to slow sim them. I'm not going to play them yet. We probably will start to play them as we build this team a bit more, and I get a little more identity towards the Minnesota Wild or the team that we're going to build here. So, they're saying go view the draft class again. Obviously, we don't have anything near all the scouting reports that we're looking for. But, again, there's just some really, really good players in this draft. So, we got Minnesota. We actually started off the season better than the Wild did, so let's see. Or better than the Wild, better than the Jets did. So, first period against Winnipeg, we 12-12 in shots, and we go 12-12 in shots and no goals. Second period, it's a 2-2 game. Kaprizov twice on the power play, and then Adam Lowry and Neil Pionk both get goals there for the Peg, and then power play again for Minnesota. Does Kaprizov top it off? No, he doesn't. Doesn't get the hat trick yet. But continuing on here, Winnipeg's getting a ton of shots, and we've kind of slumped. So, down to the final couple minutes, Kalen Addison comes in clutch. That looks great. Okay, 3-2. Down to the final minutes, Nathan Beaulieu ties it up. Oh, that's unfortunate, but very tight game here. And, well, heading into overtime, let's see what happens. Not much time to simulate here, and we go to a shootout. Okay, and the shootout concludes as a 4-3 Winnipeg win. The one goal comes from Kyle Connor. Kaprizov didn't get it done. That's too bad, but 2 goals and, a hit. That's a pretty good night still for Kaprizov. So, honestly, I'm pretty happy with how that went. We probably could have gone, or that probably could have gone way worse, but, the battle against Winnipeg is going to be a fun one as the years go on here, and we can, buff out the prospect pool a bit more in Minnesota. I mean, don't get me wrong. We got a really good core, but we are probably looking for a couple more, at least complimentary, if not top-end pieces to put around these players that are already here. We lose Goligoski to bruised ribs, and we are 3-2-1 heading into the Seattle game. We lose to Seattle, and now we have to take on the 4-2-1 Colorado Avalanche. So obviously Nathan McKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, they've just got a sick team here, and they start off Cale Makar, another guy I forgot about, gets the opener, 10-8 on shots in the first. Second period, 2-1 Colorado game. Dehaime, I believe is how you say his name. Dehaime gets one on Kemper there, but Tyson Jost got a power play goal for the Avalanche, and, well, shots coming from absolutely everywhere for the Avalanche. Power play for Minnesota, though. Good chances and no goals, unfortunately, on that power play. Colorado's just pummeling us with shots. Oh my goodness, how have they not scored more? 40 shots in the game, and it's still a 2-1 game. We tie it up. Victor Rask, what an effort. And this is actually insane. And Matthew Boldy, with 37 seconds left, sinks the Colorado Avalanche. What a performance. Oh my goodness, this is getting wild. Like, that's what I'm going to title episode 1, Time to Get Wild. Like, holy Matthew Boldy. That was sweet. Okay, what an effort. Oh my goodness. We got outshot, 43 to 26, and we win 3-2. Oh man, that was actually so sweet. I really enjoyed that. All right. I said St. Louis, but how's Dallas doing? They're not doing spectacular. So, maybe let's sim up to Dallas, see how Dallas is doing by then. But we got a lot of road trip kind of games coming up here. We could get a pick back for Goligoski potentially, but right now, 6-1 loss. Not a hot start there. But Pittsburgh is up next, and they are 1-9. Oh my, Pittsburgh Penguins, they're going to get Shane Wright. And we beat them, and we beat the Islanders too. Interesting, okay. So now against Arizona, they're 4-9. We beat them 3-0, and actually do pretty decent. Oh, we could get Nikkinen for just a third rounder and John Merrill. I would take that, but I'm not going to. Not yet anyways, because we're actually doing quite well right now. So 5-4 shootout win there. Goligoski's back in the lineup. That is good to see. And, well, how's the rest of the team doing? 12 points, 8 points, 7 points. Kaprizov's got 17 points. That's insane. But he is also just an insanely good player. So, not really surprising there. Eriksson Ek, how many points do you have? 15 and 14. Matthew Boldy, 14 and 14. You've got to love that. To be fair, Sim Engine scoring is on high, so we are going to have certain players putting up really good point numbers. But how about the defense? Dumba, 7 points, 5 points for Spurgeon, 3 for Brodin, 2 for Addison, 1 for Merrill, and Dehaime is a forward playing defense, so not expecting a whole lot from him. Goligoski should go back in here and do fine. Kind of wondering why the chemistry's just disappeared there, but that's okay. 3 out of 6 for Kakinen and 5 out of 10 for Talbot. We're not doing terrible. We're 50-50 right now, so. Trade offer for Eric Stahl. Oh, and we lose Matt Dumba to an injured foot. Okay, so we got Dallas up next. I think we really need to bring Kulikov up, just simply because we're getting injured all the time. So, yeah, let's go check out some roster moves here. As a seller, we're sitting in second or third place in the Central, and the Central's not a weak division. So yeah, let's bring Kulikov up. And do we even need to send anybody down? I don't think we do. Okay, so Kulikov's going to move up. AHL lines need some editing. Let's just put Joe Hickett's in all lines. Okay, that doesn't work very well. Holy Hickett's, okay. Maybe we play O'Rourke there instead. That might be better. Because, yeah, Hickett's is not a great fit. Why are you like this? Man, it's like this because literally nobody fits the team at all. That kind of sucks. Not gonna lie, I really thought we would have a slightly better looking team, but I guess not, so oh well. Extra attacker is going to be Kuznetsov, obviously. And then for the shootout, are you telling me Marco Rossi's not in the shootout right now? Bro, what are we doing here? Seriously. Okay, anyways. Now that that's fixed, now we can head back over to Minnesota and actually get, what's his name, Kulikov into the lineup playing defense, because even if he doesn't fit that well, who cares? I'd like to see him, play somewhat decent in our team, even if he's not a great fit, which he's actually not a bad fit. But I also don't understand why this doesn't look better. Maybe we go Goligoski up for now. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, so to be completely honest with you, I don't know how well these next couple games are going to go. Dallas seems to be doing not so great. Kaprizov's doing fantastic. But, our whole lineup is just overperforming right now. And also, one more thing, guys. Sorry, I totally forgot to show you. For those of you who aren't diehard Minnesota fans, Foligno, Dumba, and Spurgeon are the 3 captains on the team. And those aren't necessarily going to be the guys that we have wearing the letters moving forward, but I would assume until we actually end up trading any of these players, that's when we would actually have a letter transfer. All right, so heading into this Dallas game, I just had to get a couple lineup issues sorted out there, and that's what the cut was for. But heading in against Dallas, we're up on nothing on a John Merrill goal, 7-16 for Minnesota in shots after the first. Second period, it's a 1-1 game. Dallas bounces right back. Joe Pavelski gets the goal on Kaapo Kähkönen. And, well, as we head into the third period, let's see what happens here if Minnesota can start to get some more shots back. And, power play for the Dallas Stars. And it doesn't convert, but Rem Pitlick gets an even strength goal right after the power play. And we're up to 1. So now heading into the final 5 minutes or so here of this period, and Dallas out shooting Minnesota, but not necessarily getting good chances either. So Matthew Boldy gets the empty netter, and we're going to win that game 3-1 against Dallas. So a very big win against some very good rivals in the Dallas Stars. How many assists for Kaprizov? Oh my goodness. 3 assists on the night. Kirill the Thrill just doing it all here. You gotta love that. Wow, what a night that was for him. Okay, so we're just chasing down the Chicago Blackhawks now, so that's interesting. Avalanche are pretty close. St. Louis is pretty close. But apart from that, we're actually in one of the weaker divisions in the Central as well, so I find that interesting because usually the Central is really strong, and it's just not this year. So, Winnipeg probably should be highlighted, but I don't know if we actually even play Chicago before the deadline. We do. We play them twice, 3 times in the span of 3 weeks. Okay. All right. So I think we're just going to end up going up to the beginning of January, which will be the St. Louis game there. We'll probably get to that St. Louis game. We are currently right here. So we'll highlight this other Winnipeg game because Winnipeg, again, interdivisional rival. Going to be a team that we not necessarily struggle with, but a team that we have to play all the time for the entirety of this franchise mode. Why not start off some rivalry now, right? We beat, both Florida teams, and then we beat New Jersey. That's a really good kind of middle point of the season here that we're going into, and I'm quite impressed. So, first period against Winnipeg, 9-7 in shots, 0-0 game. Second period, 3-0 lead as Kevin Fiala, Marcus Foligno, and Jonas Brodin all get the goals there. And for the final period, we win the game 5-0 as Jonas Brodin has 2 goals on the night. What an evening it is for the Minnesota Wild, and a 24-save shutout for Cam Talbot. We stomp all over all over Winnipeg, as the Wild are quite literally getting wild now. This is insane. So, our next highlighted game isn't for a while, not up until Dallas, so we'll see how the sim treats us here for a bit. We got some tough teams here against, I would say, Toronto and Tampa, but we beat Tampa already. So, who knows, actually. Matthew Boldy all the way up to a 79 already now. Gotta love to see that. Kulikov's going to be the odd man out here, and we're going to put Matt Dumba back in the lineup. So, +2 chemistry. You can't really complain. John Merrill offered for a 3rd and a 7th from Calgary. I don't think so. We're 13-6-1 right now. We're doing fantastic, and we beat Tampa Bay 1-0. Beautiful. All right, we lose Merrill to a minor concussion, and then we lose 4-1 to Arizona out of all teams. The Coyotes, we were not ready for them. And then we lose to New Jersey as well. We do beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-2, though. In a very tight contest there. And, well, let's take a look at the draft class, see how things are shaping up. But by the looks of it, well, yeah, obviously Shane Wright is going to be a gem. He looks like a fantastic forward and would definitely be a guy that we're probably interested in. Trey Weller would also be a really interesting player, just based on the fact that, yes, he's a defensive defenseman, but he could partner very nicely with a guy like Kalen Addison. So yeah, that's interesting. That's potentially a player we could go after. Logan Cooley, I know he's a 1-year ETA, but he's looking really good, and I would love to go out and get a guy like him. Superstar X Factors all over the place. Same with Miroshnichenko. I know that he's just going to be a really good sniper too, so that would really kind of fulfill all the snipers we need if we went out and got Miroshnichenko. But, we could also just delay a little bit and try to maybe go out and get a guy more so like Matvei Michkov when the time is right, which would be the following year. But Michkov might go number 1 as well, which would be a lot more difficult to get than a number 8 or number 9 overall pick in comparison to these guys. So, yeah. So, simulating ahead, Merrill's back, but I'm going to keep Kulikov in the lineup for now. And, alright, win against San Jose, that looks really good. 5-0 win there against LA, but then we lose 7-1 to Vegas. Ooh, and we lose Cam Talbot with a torn hamstring. Ooh, that's not good. That is really not good. Okay. The Hamburglar will get his chance to shine. Okay. So that is very unfortunate, to be completely honest. I was not expecting that, but that's what we got to deal with. And we get some random goalie here, Thomas Popperell. Okay, and the simulation's all messed up now. So we head up to Dallas, and St. Louis is going to be the last highlighted game of this episode, but we got Dallas, Winnipeg, and then St. Louis, and then we'll wrap it up there. But, yeah, let's get into this Dallas game. All right, guys, so heading into this next game here against the Dallas Stars, they haven't done very well. 11-14-3, it's pretty much just an 11-17 record. First period, they're up 1-0. 9-9 on shots, Faxa gets the first goal. Second period, still a 1-0 game for Dallas, even though we outshoot them by 5 shots. Power play for the Stars doesn't convert. Power play for Minnesota doesn't convert. So, multiple chances both ways. Kevin Fiala finally ties it up. Minnesota on the power play doesn't convert. Dallas on the power play, they get a long power play, back-to-back power plays they don't convert. And looks like this one's actually turning into a very tight game again. And down to the final 2.5 minutes, what's going to happen? And we are headed to overtime. So, overtime events, here we go. It's a quick sim. And are we going to get a decider? No, we are not. So, the shootout results in a Dallas win, of course. Glendening gets a goal. So, wow, lots of goals. Wow, okay. So, it started off, Pavelski scores, then Fiala right after. Nobody scores for a while. Then Klingberg and Spurgeon both score, and then Glendening scored, and Boldy could not. So, a little bit unfortunate of a loss. We do get an overtime point there, but that one kind of stings as well, considering Dallas is not doing nearly as well as we are. So, simulating over to Winnipeg, and then, of course, we will wrap this episode up with the St. Louis game there on the first. Minnesota's off to a real hot start. Like, I'm a little bit surprised, but I'm also I was also expecting that. So we beat Detroit in overtime. Now we have another highlighted game against Winnipeg. So, I mean, let me know in the comments, guys. Do you think it's too much that we're just slow simulating all of these rival games, like against Winnipeg, 14-10, or not? Like, let me know down below. But 14-10 first period, no goals, and then the second period erupts for 5 goals, 4 from Winnipeg, only 1 from Minnesota. That is not great. So make it 5-1. This game's over. This game is so over. 6-2 final. Oh my goodness. We got absolutely annihilated by the Jets in that game. So maybe moving in a bit more of a downward trend now. We don't want to be losing all of our rivalry games for our interdivisional matchups, but when we keep losing the ones that are this tight, or not, I guess, like we lost to Winnipeg big time there, they're going to start catching up on us pretty quickly by doing that. So we've got St. Louis up next, and that will be the final game of this episode. But we're currently 3 points back from the Blackhawks. How many points does Kaprizov have? He's got 35 and 34, so he's not doing anything crazy. He's good, but not really, dragging this team to wins or anything either. So, with 43 points, we're sitting in a half-decent spot, but the standings are also all over the place right now. So when we look at the standings for the entirety of the league, Tampa Bay is up in first. We beat them twice, so that's interesting. Chicago's in 7th place, and they lead our divisions. There's a lot of teams doing better than Chicago, and we are currently sitting in 12th place in the league, so not a bad place to be, but we could definitely be sitting a little bit higher, only 63.2% of our points, so we probably should be a little higher. We just haven't played as many games. And yeah, Tampa's got 74% of their points. That's insane. For point percentage, we are in 8th place, so not terrible by any means, but we also just have not been scoring nearly as much either. So 97 goals for, that's it, which is a little bit low to be completely honest. But we head into this St. Louis game. St. Louis, it's a pretty good team. They're nothing crazy. They're nothing special. Neither are we, to be completely honest. Minnesota's a pretty balanced, average kind of team overall, apart from maybe Kaprizov and Spurgeon and 1 or 2 other guys. But first period against St. Louis, we take a 1-0 lead from who else? Kirill the Thrill. 13-9 for St. Louis, though. Second period is a 3-0 lead as Victor Rask and Alex Goligoski both get goals there. And heading into the third, this is our game to lose, but St. Louis goes on the power play. They do not convert, but we make it 4-0. Ryan Hartman gets a goal, and then Buchnevich responds back, makes it 4-1. Power play there for Minnesota did not convert, but in the final half of the third period here, doesn't look like there's too much craziness happening. Not a ton of shots for either teams, really. It's 30-27 for the whole game, and Minnesota will take this one with ease, a 4-1 victory versus St. Louis. So Kevin Fiala, Kirill Kaprizov putting up some good numbers, but you guys got to let me know what we're doing in the comments below. Should we be trying to go out and get some top-end kind of talent here? Should we be looking for draft steals? What should we be doing here? Just using our picks efficiently? Like, there's all sorts of options we can take heading into the latter half of the season here, but a guy like Logan Cooley would be interesting. Like, I know these guys are going to be good, but I want to hear what you guys have to say, because there's so many options. There's so many players that could potentially be really good. Gaucher could be a decent pickup later on. Yeah, let me know. There's lots of options for this team to take. We could try to just, pick up some good free agents, try to do well this year and go from there kind of thing. Like, there's a lot of different strategies we can take with Minnesota at this current point. But again, let me know what you think. And that is where we're going to wrap this one up. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to go down below, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit the notification bell to never miss these uploads. And of course, go check out my other series on my channel and leave comments. But that's going to be it for me, and until next time.